So 561 Music now has a hotline. You can call us anytime at 561-203-9122 and ask us any questions you like. Some humorous ones or something about the guests we've had on the show, or questions about gear, or questions about the festival, or anything you like. It's, of course, 561-203-9122. We would love to hear from you. We did a pretty fun little message, so you get to hear that too. Even if you just call up to listen to me and Hector trying to do a good phone message, that's a good enough reason. But yeah, we'd love to hear from you, so please get in touch. Welcome to 561 Music. My name's Ben.
And I'm Hector.
How you doing, dude?
I'm doing good, man. How you doing?
I'm all right. I wasn't here last week, and I feel like I haven't been here for a million years because of it. I feel like it's my first time or something.
That happens every time I got to take a week off or something. I feel like it's been 3 months since I've been here. It's crazy. But
yeah, totally.
But we missed you. I did a terrible job by myself, so no. Glad you're back.
I watched it. It was good. And those guys in Scattered Light, cool guys, cool band, you know.
Yeah. You taught one of them too, right?
Yeah, Asher.
Nice.
Yeah. It was a bit of a shame I couldn't have been there to chat to Asher because he's a really amazing musician.
Yeah, I know, for sure.
Yeah.
So what did we do this weekend?
We played at Das
on Friday.
Yeah, and if people don't know where that is, it used to be called Das Biergarten. It's in Abacoa.
Yeah.
And that place is really cool. The reason it's cool is because they opened up the entire side of the bar, and it's like playing, I mean, I hesitate to say a real gig, but it's like playing a real gig because everyone in the street comes, and it's a fun family affair. You always get like kids dancing around and stuff.
I mean, it's an honest to goodness, stage. I mean, like, it's not just, you're not playing in a corner somewhere where they move some tables around. There's a full on stage. We set up our system there, and it's a good sized stage, and we're facing out from the bar, so people are walking by and stopping, and yeah, it's cool. That's cool. They get a good crowd there.
Totally. And the latest news from Kilbillies is we started using in-ear monitors.
We did.
Yeah, which is actually a game changer for me. I mean, I don't know how you're doing with it, but I love it.
I'm somewhere in the in-between world of in-ears and regular monitors. When we're playing and when we're using these in-ear monitors, I can't have them both in. For some reason, I feel so isolated, and when I'm singing, even though I can hear my voice in the in-ears, it still feels like I have this like muffled sound to my voice or something. So I don't know. It just makes it hard for me to sing.
Right.
So I've been playing with one in and one out so that I can still hear the room sound and hear the PA.
Yeah.
But by doing that, I still have nice crystal clear sound. I can hear the bass, I can hear the guitar, I hear everything crystal clear in my ear. So it works out good.
Yeah, totally. I don't know if it's because of all the recording I've done over the years, but I didn't think I was going to like it because I fought it for so long, and then the first day we did it, I was like, what? Why haven't I not been doing this my whole life?
Yeah,
I really liked it.
Yeah. The only thing I don't like about it when you have both of them in is we can't talk to you unless we talk in the mic, and sometimes what we want to say to you, we can't say in the mic.
I know, yeah. That's really frustrating.
Right.
Maybe I do have to just have one.
I don't know.
We'll figure something out. But then it was a square grouper on Saturday.
And you guys got dumped on.
Oh, my God. I thought all our gear was going to be broken.
Yeah.
I was freaking out. Like, if it was like sideways. That place is so much better now in terms of the tiki hut that you play under.
Yeah.
It used to just be a little shack thing, and they'd even cancel bands with a tiny bit of rain. But now they never cancel bands because it's so solid. But it was coming in like horizontally,
sideways. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I went home, right. And right above my head, as I was losing stuff out, there was a huge lightning strike that was like, I could smell the ozone in the air. Couldn't have been like more than 50 feet away. It scared the hell out of me.
Yeah, it was pretty rough on Saturday.
Yeah.
And then we went to play O'Shea's, and I thought that was going to be a crap show because of the weather, but I don't know. place was packed.
Yeah,
Place was
no,
absolutely packed.
it was actually awesome.
Yeah, it was actually really awesome.
Yeah, we had a really good time. I think partly because there was that Gwen Stefani fundraiser thing, and I kept seeing people come in dressed very smartly, and I think a lot of them had been to
I
that.
think so. I think a lot of them came from that. So
yeah, because we fit so well with Gwen Stefani fans.
I mean, we don't not fit well with Gwen Stefani fans.
I guess we're in the same age bracket.
Yeah, man. And then we've got the hotline, and we actually had a few phone calls on the hotline, which was awesome. We had let's see here, Scattered Light was on the show last week, and we actually had a message from one of the guys in Scattered Light. It was Matthew from Scattered Light, and he just wanted to give the hotline a call and say congratulations on 100 episodes, and he was looking forward to seeing us for the episode.
Oh, okay.
And then
cool.
you weren't here.
Yeah. I don't know about that.
And then we have another one, and the other one is anonymous. It was a unknown caller, no phone number. They didn't leave a name, and it just says, "Hey there, I was just kind of wondering what part of Ireland is Mr. Ben from the Killbillies? Have a good day, gentlemen." So Ben, what part of Ireland are you from?
As I've grown very used to saying, the English part.
Yes.
Yeah, I have to say that it's a fair question because we play a lot of Irish music.
It is.
And I've got a lot of Irish
But no one asked me
blood.
that, and we play a lot of English music, or Irish music.
Well,
rather.
it's the accent, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, not from Ireland. And there's two situations that could be playing out here. One is he knows that, and he's like fucking
Busting
with me
your
a little
balls,
bit.
of course.
Yeah. And the other is he's genuinely curious. And if you're genuinely curious, I'm not from Ireland. My dad has family from Sligo and a lot of Irish blood, and my mum has Irish blood too. But nope, I was born in London, so there you go. That's the truth of it. So we have Blabscam with us. We have Dave, James, Ted, and Dave. How's it going, Dice?
What's up, guys?
Good. What's up? How you doing?
Thanks for having us.
Oh, it's super nice for you to be here. I know that we've sort of passed like ships in the night before. Just all of you guys, I feel like I've met before. I kind of 100% remember why or when, but I know we have. It could have. Yeah, I spent a lot of time in propaganda back in the day, so it could be to do with that.
James and I went to the 561 Music Festival.
Yeah, we were at that. Yeah, that was great.
Yeah, which is cool.
Okay,
I was
cool.
sick that day, so I was like in the sun. We saw the Shake play, and
Nice.
Dominic Delaney. They're friends of ours. We play with them all the time.
Oh, nice.
I really wanted to see 1983 in Octo Gato.
Yeah.
But I was sick. I was out in the sun for an hour, and I was like, oh, I gotta go.
1983, man. They were playing on the concrete stage.
Yeah.
And the sky opened up during the last couple songs.
Yeah.
I mean, it couldn't have gotten any more punk rock than that. They kept playing, the water splashing up off their instruments, and
Yeah.
they just plowed right through their last couple songs.
It
was
made
great
for
as fuck.
some killer pictures.
Oh
too.
yeah, there was some
Yeah.
sick pictures.
Yeah.
And Rocky is the man. We love Rocky.
Oh yeah, what's not to love? you
Yeah,
know?
he actually our last live little EP we did. He mastered that, mixed it for
Yeah,
us.
excellent.
Yeah.
He lived at my house for a little bit. I've known him for years. You know, he was in No Name Scar Band with me for a long time.
Oh, was he?
And yeah, and then he was also in a project that I did called Ben Chards and the Whales. I love Rocky. I've known him for a really long time, and now he works here.
I feel like he must be a very courteous house guest.
He was chill. Yeah, he was great. Yeah.
Are you sure? That doesn't sound
For a
like it,
couch guy, he was top quality couch guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, every time I've met him so far, he's been really nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Me and Dave were watching him play once, and we're like, this dude's like the coolest.
Yeah. Just from his bass playing, you can divine that.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
by
Dude, his
seeing him.
bass tone is sick. We were like asking him a bunch of questions because we were listening. And we're like, dude, how are you getting that sound?
Yeah,
It
how can I
sounds so
shamelessly
good.
copy this?
Yeah.
Great setup. Great
No, he's been at it a while, man. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
And the and I've seen him go from someone who really had barely any understanding of recording to someone who's very good at it. You know, he's come a long way. I mean, admittedly, it's been years and years now because I've known him for a long time. But you know, he really. I feel like he. Not that I'm like insanely good at it or anything, but I think he's better than me at it now. You know, there was a time when I was showing him stuff, and I feel like these days he's showing me stuff. you know?
Yeah, recording's hard. Actually, because Long Live the Scene did that live EP. So actually, we're gonna go pretty soon and start recording a little album with them, with Ricky and Rocky, which we're super excited about.
Nice.
Yeah, cool. No, that's a great idea, and that they make a good team too.
Yeah, we love Ricky too. He's such a cool, great dude. Like, what an asset to the scene too.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Doing a little Scar thing with him and Hector, and actually he's coming around to track some drums for that next Thursday.
Oh, nice.
Dude, me and James were saying that because like we only ever saw him play guitar and sing in the Shake, and then he was, I guess it was for Dominic that he was playing drums.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, he's an insane
I
drum
was like,
player.
I couldn't
also.
believe how
Right
good of a
on.
drummer he was on top of playing
Yeah.
guitar and singing. I was like, oh my god.
Well, I think,
Crazy.
if correct me if I'm wrong, I think drums was actually his first instrument.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I think he was a drummer first before he was a guitarist.
Like at high school, I think it was in the drum line and stuff like
Oh.
that.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
Which I would have
That
done.
tracks.
yeah, he was definitely a drummer first.
Yeah. No, he's a really, really good drummer actually.
Yeah, we were
Yeah.
impressed.
He's all right.
Well, I think that's how.
Still love you, Ricky.
Those are
But you know,
fighting words.
that's how it kind of ties in with all of his sort of looping and everything. You know, is this
Oh, yeah.
impeccable sense of timing?
Yeah.
Goes a long way.
Looping's hard too. You got to be like on top of that, or else it gets away from you.
Yeah,
It sounds like
totally.
shit. Yeah.
Exactly.
This is the Ben and Hector We Love Ricky show.
I know, we always end up talking
Well, we
about
could
it.
talk trash about Ricky for a while. You guys want to balance it out.
I feel like we talk about him every episode.
I know,
He's
yeah.
becoming the new Rocky. We used to talk about Rocky every episode. Now we talk about
really?
Ricky every episode. Rocky and Ricky.
Well, I will say this. You know, we've made a joke about it before. Everyone in the Shake looks like a hacker from like a '90s movie.
That's hilarious. Yep, they do. They look exactly
That's
like
pretty
that.
funny.
That's great. And who wouldn't want to look like a hacker from a 90s movie?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And Billy Doom, we've also been playing for, and they look like the gang of thugs from an '80s movie that were
Yeah.
the protagonists. You know?
The
They look
shiny
like-
leather
Yeah,
jacket.
the leather jackets,
the
sunglasses.
Warriors, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Totally. That's hilarious. Yeah, they're really good, huh?
Oh,
Yeah.
dude, they're
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, they're great.
Yeah.
Been out in California.
Yeah, recording their. I'm not jealous at all.
No,
that
not
they're
even a
recording
little.
an amazing studio with an amazing drummer.
Yeah.
and stuff. And
Tell me about it.
we just played a bunch of dates with them on their Broken Spring tour. So
Okay.
they were
Yeah.
going all over Florida. So we played like 3 or 4 dates with them, like in the local area. And
Nice.
stuff. So
Yeah, that was awesome.
by far it was so cool to play with like really good bands and inspiring musicians. It was really cool because sometimes it can kind of be like a mixed bag.
Oh,
when you're
yeah.
playing shows.
Yeah, totally. And then, you get people with weird egos and kind of
Yeah.
just arguing about stupid stuff. It can get, tours can either be just wonderful or not.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
could definitely not be sometimes.
Have you guys all lived here for a while or your whole lives, or?
Yeah, my whole life. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I
mean,
was born and raised here, but I actually was living in New York for the last
tried to
10
get out and it
years.
didn't work.
I
tried to escape.
well, yeah,
we reeled you back in.
yeah.
Never leave.
It's I've sunk back down. No, I mean I lost my job during the pandemic, and me and my wife wanted to move back here to raise a family eventually anyway, so that kind of just
Right.
like maybe pushed it forward a few
Okay.
years.
Gotcha.
So, how have you guys, since you guys are all from the area and stuff, and you were talking about playing with some of these good musicians locally? How have you guys found the scene in Florida, like the South Florida music scene overall?
It's really awesome and supportive, and like it feels like we're all friends. Like I used to play in the area back in like the early 2000s, like
Right.
Spankies and like Ray's
Sure.
Downtown Blues. I don't know
What
if you
kind
guys
of music?
remember
Like
that.
punk rock?
Oh no, it was like
They played in a metalcore band.
a screamo band.
When that
It
was
was-
popping in like the
it's
early
it's
2000s.
embarrassing.
I don't know. It
nothing wrong with
depends
that.
on
Yeah.
what it sounded like, I
No,
guess.
it was fun. Like we definitely played a lot of cool shows. We would play with like A Day to Remember.
Yeah, you guys like opened and like
It was
played
with-
around with a lot of big bands at the time.
I played guitar then, and Dave's brother actually was the lead singer of that band.
Oh, neat. What was the band called?
St. Vegas.
Oh, there you go.
Very cool metal name, right? St. Vegas.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm writing some sort of hardcore type stuff right now, like on the DL with a friend of mine. But yeah, I like the heavier stuff.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Dude, hell yeah.
Yeah. So, how did you get into music? I'm just going to go around all of you guys, and let's start with Dave. And like when you were a kid and stuff, did you have supportive parents and stuff like that?
Yeah. So I got into music because I watched Back to the Future when I was 12, and that scene where Marty McFly plays.
Yeah, dude.
I saw that and I was like, damn, that is fucking awesome. I want to do that so bad. And around the same time, I was in middle school, maybe right before. My friend got like one of those starter packs with like the Squire and the amp and stuff. And spent the night over his house, and I played. I didn't know how to play, but I was like playing his guitar all weekend. And his parents told my parents like, should get him a guitar. Like he barely hung out with our son all weekend. He was just playing his guitar in his room. So then, my parents got me a guitar. My parents are super supportive, and they got me lessons and stuff.
Nice.
What was your kind of early influences in terms of what you wanted to sound like, other than Marty McFly
I'm still trying to attain that sound.
/ Chuck Berry?
Yeah. In middle school, what I was like getting into, like I was just getting into Nirvana, and that was like a huge influence on me, and like Green Day and stuff. I feel like what everyone was listening to back then.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
I can't stand Nirvana.
No?
No, I'm kidding.
He was in a Nirvana tribute band.
Oh, right. Okay.
For like 10 years.
I was going to say, who doesn't like Nirvana?
Yeah.
But like, I think that was like one of those things too where it didn't seem like out of reach.
Yeah.
It was like simple songs, but they're such awesome songs.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the cool thing about like punk rock, and is the accessibility.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then in high school, I started to get better, and I could play with people. And me and Dave actually went to high school together, and we started pretty regularly jamming at his parents' house in the garage, like me, him, and his brother, or whoever was around, like just jamming with random people. And then like towards the end of high school, me and his brother started the band St. Vegas and started playing around the area and stuff.
Wicked. That's awesome. What about you, James? How did you find yourself playing music back in the day?
I started playing music a little late. I kind of started around my early 20s.
Okay.
And it was mostly just because a lot of our other friends were in bands. Like Andy was in like Routine Scheme and stuff. I grew up with Andy.
Yeah,
I've known him
okay.
since I'm like 10. So, and those, they had those guys and Root Hecklers and all those bands starting up. And so we
Okay, I didn't know you were like tight with Andy. That's cool.
Yeah. I've known him since we're kids. Him and his brother Ryan was in our band when I was back in the day when I first started. We made a band called 84 Sheepdog.
When's Andy going to join the band?
Andy was
asking him.
Actually, Andy was in 84 Sheepdog, and he says we kicked him out, but we actually we just didn't. He just didn't have enough time to play with us.
Okay.
But he says we kicked him out, but he was playing bass for us, but he was just too busy. He's in like 5-6 bands at all times.
He's like in
so,
8 bands now.
Yeah. So it just he was just too busy for that.
Slow period for him right now.
But yeah,
Yeah, big up Andy if you're listening.
but yeah, it was like pop punk. Ted was in the band with us too. He joined in a little later, but we did the band for about say about 13 years maybe.
Oh, wow.
And we played at
Wow.
Prop and in Delray a little bit. We played at a couple places in Lake Worth and other things, and it was good for a while, but everyone kind of got busy and stuff, and Ryan had some kids, and it was an amicable split. We all were kind of doing our own thing, so we kind of just stopped playing.
Did
And
you guys?
then-
Oh, you guys opened for Ramon.
we opened for a lot of
Yeah.
cool acts. We opened
Wow.
for the lead singer of the Ataris when he
Cool.
came down to Prop. We opened up for one of the, I think it was Ricky Ramone or something.
There's a
Richie
Ricky
Ramone?
I think
Yeah.
Richie Ramone. Richie
Yeah,
Ramone.
okay.
Yeah, we opened for Richie Ramone, and then
Ricky Ramone.
And I think
He's been down a couple of times.
Yeah,
right?
I think so. Yeah, and then my happiest moment was we opened for Guttermouth. I thought that was really cool. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. And then we actually traded shirts with them at that show, and they gave us shirts, and then their guitarist wore one of our shirts on stage to play.
Wow.
So that was really cool. Yeah,
That's awesome.
But yeah, and then we started this after that kind of ended. I think I took like a year break, and then me and Dave started talking, and that's kind of how we started Blabscam.
Gotcha. No, that's really interesting and quite a sort of refreshing thing, because most people sort of start when they're teenagers, and
Yeah.
just jumping on it in your early 20s is like, it's cool, it's admirable you did it,
Yeah, I didn't know much about music. I mean, I was brought up with a lot of music. My dad was a huge music fan, listened to a lot of like Motown and classic rock and stuff, so I grew up with like Prince and The Doors and Zeppelin and all kinds of Steely Dan,
Yeah,
all
sure.
kinds of stuff like that. So
I feel like our generation, I mean, I'm just about in your generation.
Yeah.
I'm like 42, but I'm a little ways out, but I'm just about in there. That's it. Our parents had great music collections. They
Yeah.
lived in the golden age of like recorded music,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and rock and stuff. I don't know what we'll be passing down at this point to our kids, but
yeah, all that really influenced me, and then
probably the same stuff.
yeah, probably
Exactly.
more of that.
I remember my parents went to some kind of convention, and there was a Beatles cover band there, and they got their CD and they were playing it in the car, and I was apparently like rocking out to it, and it like wasn't even the Beatles. It was like a shitty like convention band playing, and I was like, my parents were like, oh,
Was
I
that
guess
here
he
in Florida?
likes music.
Or?
That was in Florida.
Yeah, I might. I remember that. I remember when I was a kid, like seeing possibly that same band.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean,
Were they
it'd be
from
funny if
England?
it
Because
was,
I
but-
played with this was a long time ago, right?
We're gonna find
Yeah.
out
Oh,
that
yeah, I
all
think
of
I
us were
was
at the
like
same show.
9 or 10.
Okay, yeah, because I played with a Beatles tribute band not that long ago. We did. Remember that? We had a gig with a Beatles tribute band. It was like,
did?
yeah, it might have been just before we joined. Actually, yeah, it might have been like nothing.
Oh, so you stopped all the good gigs when I joined. That's what I'm hearing.
I don't know if supporting a Beatles tribute band can be considered a good gig.
it's better than some of them.
All right, so Ted, how did you find yourself getting into music, my friend?
Yeah, I was, I remember when I was a kid, like, I remember one of the first songs that just sucked me in, like, into just listening to music was when The Offspring came out with Smash.
Yeah.
And they had that song come out and play. Like, one of my neighborhood friends showed me that. And I started playing guitar when I was, like, 13.
Okay. That was the same as me.
Yeah, I played for a bit when I was a kid. I wasn't playing in bands. I was just playing by myself. My dad plays guitar as well, so we would jam out. I remember one of the early bands I got into, actually, was from my older sister. It was Guar, actually.
Nice. Oh, sick.
Yeah.
Guar's a sick
Some
band.
Dogs of the
What a
Universe.
sick band for an
Yeah.
early band
Yeah.
to get into.
Yeah, and I just couldn't stop listening to it,
Actually,
Yeah.
explains a lot about Ted.
The Ted inside.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Dave, what was your introduction to music?
I mean, it's kind of similar to theirs in that we found it like young. I found it young. There's actually something I remembered just recently about finding like punk music when I was a kid, like in middle school, just like learning what I liked. And something happened with my sister and my mom where she had like this Dead Kennedys CD, and it was like Live Mutiny on the Bay or something.
Oh, that's a good
And my parents found it's like, what is this? You can't fucking listen to this. I mean, they didn't curse, but they took it away from her and they threw it away. And she went and fished it out of the trash. And she was like, Dave, I see you like getting into punk music. Like you like the Descendants, you like Rancid and stuff like that. And like, listen to this. And I was already kind of going that path. And I just started really diving into that and hardcore.
Gotcha.
And that's what got me like playing instruments because it's like I really like this. I just wanted to emulate it. And I was like, well, I can't play guitar. I can probably play bass riffs, especially for like punk music.
It's easier, 4 strings.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why I do it.
Yeah. And it just kind of went from there. Like I
Yeah.
started teaching myself guitar a little bit. These guys helped me out a lot. Like over the years, I
Dave
went to high school with
actually
Dave.
introduced me to a lot of punk that I didn't know before I started hanging out with him in high school. Because like my tastes were pretty mainstream. Like I don't know if you guys are from the area, but Buzz 103.1, that was my jam.
Yeah, of
Yeah.
course. Yeah.
And
Buzz
so
Bake Sale,
everything
Listen,
and like
yeah, Buzz Bake
was a
Sales.
big
Yeah, I've been to a few of
deal.
those. Yeah.
yeah,
Forgot
oh
about
dude,
that.
those were the
Those were
best.
so much fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was still here when I moved to the US in 2010. It was still just here. I think I had like 2 or 3 years of the buzz, and then
Yeah.
Dude, I'm so sad that it's gone.
Mark,
Now-
Jenny, and Dahmer, and
Yeah.
the morning show. Yeah, it was good. It was good.
And now it's just been absorbed into the classic music, the classic rock station.
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, it's,
The age,
Sad.
huh? Yeah.
it's a bummer. But yeah, I know that was. The weird thing is hearing Green Day on classic rock stations.
Yeah, it's wild, isn't it?
Wild.
Yeah. It always
I-
blows my mind.
You know, and like Against Me, I was like,
Yeah.
are you kidding me? The classic rock? Oh my God. Yeah, it spins me out. But yeah, cool. All right. So this pretty common story, got into it as teenagers, and parents had like record collections from the 60s and 70s. I feel like that's almost everybody's story in that situation, and with good reason, because all of that music from the 60s and 70s was great, and I feel like that generation, were really just that was what pop culture was rock bands,
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like I said before, I think that's changed.
It was back when a rock band could change the world and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. No
now
doubt
the
about
world
it.
can change a rock band.
Oh.
That's deep. It's deep.
Yeah.
Deep, deep.
Wow. Was this a Joe Rogan podcast?
So, Blabscam, how'd you come up with the name?
Well, actually, Dave came up with that.
Yeah,
that's
I
all
stole
Dave.
that from old C-SPAN. What was it, like an
a
interview show?
Christopher-
I guess
It's a Christopher
Yeah.
Hitchens article.
From
Yeah.
'87, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's basically he was writing about the 24-hour news cycle and how it encourages people to kind of make stuff up because you have to fill a 24-hour news cycle.
Yeah.
So it's exactly what it sounds like. It's like a talking scam, and when we also felt like it was kind of like a cartoony word, and we feel like that kind of represented our sound and like our
Yeah, it is.
aesthetic of
like
the
pop
band.
arty, kind of like pow.
Yeah, we
sort of
went
stuff.
through a few names, and I don't know. We were just like we couldn't figure out anything, and I just felt like that one fit for some reason. It just like had that.
None of our
quality.
It's
friends
a sick
or
name, yeah.
girlfriends or wives, no one liked that name, and they're like, "Don't
Yeah,
call
no one was
yourself
really
that
into
name."
it.
But people have come around to. I
Oh,
feel
for
like it's
sure.
something you
Now
gotta sit with.
Yeah.
But we kind of feel like especially in the last few years, like communication has kind of broken down, where like
Has it ever?
half of society cannot agree on truth anymore. We
Yep.
can't agree on anything. Like you have Trump and social media influencers and advertising, and it's like words have almost become meaningless. And for
Yeah.
us, it's like we kind of like living in the age of the Blabscam.
Yeah,
So we kind of felt like it was.
it's a
apt
great name. And the
yeah.
more you talk about it and explain it, the more I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
fun to yell.
Yeah.
People have
Yeah,
come to
that's
just
why I
like
put an
yell it.
exclamation point because it's got to be Blabscam.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
always in all caps.
Yes. Yeah.
That's awesome. So when it came down to finding your sound, we were talking earlier and you were saying that it took about 6 months of knocking around to figure out what that would be. Tell us a little bit about that and what your direction in terms of the way the band sounds and why it sounds like that and what it's
Yeah.
influenced by.
Well, before, when I was living in New York, I was writing and recording myself, where I was playing all the instruments and doing stuff, and it was a different style. It's kind of more like hush indie, and I like sang very whispery, so indie. And that was fun for the time, but like I was not really satisfied with it. And so then when I did move back to Florida, and when I was living in New York, I would always send Dave like the stuff I was recording, and he would give me ideas.
Yeah,
and
he sent me
stuff.
all that corny shit, and we talked about it.
Yeah.
Right.
That's another
But
thing
you
too.
had something, Dave. You had the
Was
kernel
it
of a
like
lot of
plain
good
white
stuff.
teas, kind of like folky indie?
I would
I mean,
It's
it
like
was
psychedelic
It was
indie.
kind of
Yeah.
experimental too.
Oh,
Like it was
okay.
like even more stripped down Radiohead, but with like a drum machine, some good guitar over.
because
it.
I can't
neat.
play drums, so I just had drum machines. On.
Yeah, a lot of reverb on the vocals, like.
Too much. Yeah, because I was insecure.
But now you sound great. You have a really ballsy like tone to
Yeah.
yourself.
Yeah, and so when I came back, we talked about playing together, and we started doing it, and basically we probably wrote like 4 or 5 songs, and we kept we were playing for a little while, and then we'd write something new, and it felt more like the direction that we wanted to go. So like I said, like we probably spent like 6 months kind of feeling
yeah.
out and finding a
Yeah.
direction. And around this time too, me and James started listening to this podcast called No Dogs in Space. I don't know if you guys.
Yeah, I'm actually wearing the shirt. Came to promote it.
And if you guys haven't listened to it, it's a really good podcast where they go through like they'll do a series on a band. Most of
Yeah,
it's
it's like a nice
punk.
deep dive into like the whole band and how like every album and how they started and almost every member really too. They
Yeah,
go
I
into-
have heard of it. I just haven't listened to a lot of it, but I should.
Definitely
yeah, it's
worth
really
a
cool. Yeah,
listen.
it really got me into the Stooges
Ah,
and the
sick.
Replacements
That's
too.
what- and we would listen to it and like kind of talk about it, and like I liked punk and stuff, but like it's funny, like Dave showed me a lot of that early punk stuff in high school, and I like liked it at the time, but I feel like it's like when you're young, it's like watching black and white movies. There's something about it that you can't connect
Yeah.
with.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's like
sure,
when,
yeah. I
would
when
agree
you
with
grow
that.
up on color TV. But now, like as an adult, I can appreciate that more.
Yeah.
And like,
Yeah.
like you were saying, like I like the Stooges, but then like listening to a deep dive of them, like we have a song called Chair on our first EP. I was like, I want to write a Stooges song.
Oh, cool.
And that kind of like I wrote that and Meat Machine, another song, and I feel like those were the first 2 songs where we're like, oh
Yeah, that
shit,
was
that's the
like-
Blabscam
Yeah.
song.
Yeah.
And it
Oh,
had like the
gotcha.
sense of humor in it, and it was kind of like
It was like irreverent, like ironic punk, like it was,
Yeah,
but very
nice.
simple, like with a healthy amount of rock. Like it wasn't just like corny punk.
I feel like
Yeah,
a lot
yeah.
of the heaviness in our sound comes from like Dave's tastes.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, the sound
Yeah,
really
I mean, all of
developed
us.
Yeah,
because he
they're
was
all
in a
Ted,
punk
he grew up on
band.
Guar, so
Yeah, exactly. but the influences of all four of us
Yeah.
are in there, like as punk musicians and like people
Yeah.
who like straightforward, just in your
Yeah.
face kinds of sounds.
Yeah.
And that's another thing. We all kind of grew up together too, sort of in a way. I mean, me and Ted have known each other since we were 10
Yeah.
with Andy, and then
Well, we
known
even
each other.
jammed,
It's not
yeah.
like
Yeah.
I think we've known each other 20 years.
Yeah.
now.
Oh yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've probably known
Dave,
you
we're
and
old.
15 years at
We're
least.
old
or-
fuckers.
When you start being able to say 20 years and 30 years and
yeah,
throw
it's
that
crazy.
around, like
Yeah.
I remember the first. It was like when I was when I was about 35 and I started being able to say, oh, it was 20 years ago. I was like, oh no.
Yeah. Kill me.
yeah. I find myself saying it
Wait till
all
you
the
get to
time.
my
now.
age, man.
I think like though it's like it changed. Listening to that stuff kind of changed how I was thinking about writing stuff, and a big part of it is like I wanted to be funny in songs, and I couldn't figure out a way until we wrote those two songs.
Right.
Yeah,
a
it definitely
way.
brought out more of the Blabscam sound in those two songs, and then we kind of just grew from that. I feel like, yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Okay. Yeah. Cool. And when it comes to like humor in your lyrics, how do you approach that?
Well, it changes now. Like something that we've been doing lately.
It's usually whatever makes us laugh. Honestly, like if we,
I
it's
guess
almost
that's
like
the only
writing
way you
jokes,
can do
but
it. Yeah.
Well, like lately, what we've been doing is like we'll pick a phrase and then I write the lyrics around that.
Okay.
We have a song called Brainworms, which is on the new live EP. Like Dave wrote the main riff to that, and he was like, "Oh, I feel like we should call this song Brainworms," which made me then I had to write lyrics around the phrase brainworms.
Yeah.
And I've thought like the funny angle into that was like someone having brainworms, but like being really proud of their brainworms. And, like,
yeah, like
being like, oh, I love my
my brain is
brainworms."
just
Like,
completely destroyed, and this
it's
is
almost like certain political movements where it's like people who are not tethered to reality, and they're so happy to tell
Yeah.
you about.
Yeah, yeah. That's great. Yeah, and it works great as an analogy for something like that too.
Yeah.
That's really interesting.
And like that other song, Chair, that I was saying that I felt like kind of broke out our sound too. It was like, I was like, oh, I'm going to write, I want to be your dog. And what I was like, oh, I wish I could be your chair was the phrase. But, and like,
Right.
that can be
Yeah.
taken as a sexual thing. But then I wanted to take it one step further. I was like, what if it's about someone who is like content to be furniture in someone else's life and write a love song from that kind of
Aw.
perspective?
That's lovely.
Yeah.
That's actually hilarious, man.
Yeah.
just unrequited forlorn loser music.
Lately,
really
and
hard.
so and our latest song we wrote was called Mayonnaise Sandwich. Was
Yeah.
by far, they gave me that phrase mayonnaise sandwich. That was the hardest one to try and write. Lyrics
because
around,
the
'cause I'm like,
more-
what the fuck, like mayonnaise
Yeah.
sandwich. And then it became a thing where I was like, oh well, mayonnaise sandwich is something that's like, it's all filler. There's no substance to it. So what if you are calling like a lover a mayonnaise sandwich? It's like someone who you shouldn't be with, but like kind of can't help yourself.
Yeah.
Like there's no nutrition there, there's no substance there, but like you keep going back to it.
It just,
Yeah.
you know, like the more you explain the songs and the lyrics and stuff like that.
The high level ideas at work.
the really high levels. The more like the Blabscam name just fits you guys so well.
yeah, totally. No, it's awesome. Great project. Do you have any kind of approach to your live show? Do you sort of bring are you playing the songs or, like a sort of regular band, or are you putting, you do anything costume
I
related?
mean, are
or
you
anything
throwing
like
mayonnaise
that?
sandwiches into the crowd?
We should
Well,
probably.
from now on.
We don't have costumes. I mean, it's something we talked about for a little while.
Yeah, we did,
But
yeah.
then we decided against it. But we definitely, I guess we do kind of like comedic bits sometimes.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
tell jokes and like just kind of fuck
I
around.
feel like
But
good
the
crowd
whole
interaction is
like
important.
the whole thing of our band is to not be taken too seriously.
Yeah,
Just
okay,
kinda
yeah.
rock and be in your face a little bit. Just
That's
like
part
the,
of the
music does that part
Yeah,
of
that's
it.
part of the Blabscam aesthetic too. To me, is that like I feel like my past stuff is not as good because I was taking myself too seriously.
Yeah, I
And,
hear that.
And I was like, man, I want to make something fun.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah.
like fun to listen to.
Yeah, wicked. Oh, I love it. So, do you guys? Let's go sort of round the room, so to speak. Do you still practice your guitar, like in terms of like old school, scales? That's nonsense.
Yeah, I'm a monk to the cause.
Yeah.
I play every day, and
He's the
pretty
most
much,
diligent for sure.
and like I like learning things, so I'll like look up new chords that I don't know or try and learn new scales. But yeah, I play it every day.
Yeah,
pretty much,
man.
You know, as much as I can. I love it. My wife probably hates it because like we're watching TV. I'm just like,
I'm not even allowed to practice pretty much. I have to go and lock myself in my little studio room.
oh really?
She hates it. Yeah.
I'm sure she'll get sick of it one day. But right now she's cool with it.
She used to pretend to like it. She doesn't know.
Isn't it funny though, man? They're always like, oh, you're a musician. That's so cool. And then somewhere down the road, they're like, could you just stop?
Then the reality of living with a musician.
Yeah, 30 seconds of a song is like sexy,
Yeah.
but like 4 hours of someone doing like
Yeah.
a scale
same
is
scale.
I'm hitting my my 26th anniversary this year, and,
Oh,
and
congrats.
my
Congrats,
wife
man.
is like, like, could you just stop buying music stuff, please? And could you just not play in the house?
Yeah, so it's like, no, sorry.
maybe.
Yeah. So what about you, James? Are you practicing at home?
Yeah, I practice at home sometimes. I mean, with the drums, it's a little bit more of a problem sometimes because
Yeah.
it's just so loud. But
Yeah, a bit more of a process.
we have our practice. All of us is we practice twice a week, so that's really important. I feel like
wow.
it
That's
definitely
awesome.
helps
That's
out a lot.
great.
Yeah. And then on my own, I'll practice every so often. I'll usually just throw some headphones on and try to like learn a song I like or something like that. Just kind of or practice what we have. But you know,
Yeah.
that's about it usually.
Gotcha. Ted, are you
Yeah.
getting the practice done?
I do. I practice. Lately, like I've been actually practicing piano because I recently got a new keyboard.
Oh,
Been
nice.
messing around with, but
Get
I
some
tried to
synth
practice
in the
guitar.
songs, bro.
What's that?
We're gonna get some synth in those songs.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I try to practice guitar often too. Like it usually just unplugged. I'm just chilling at home from my computer or on the couch or whatever.
Yeah, nice. And last but not least, Dave, practicing?
I should practice, but usually what I end up doing is just playing stuff that I already know or like thinking of a riff for the band.
Yeah.
Like I am not like if Dave taught me, I'd probably help me a lot. But
But you're a bass player. We don't have to
Exactly,
practice.
right?
We're just
Like,
naturally talented.
I just find the groove and I just ride that ability. That's all I need to do.
Dave's being a little modest. He's actually, I think, the most. He can play guitar really well. He plays bass really well, and he's a pretty good drummer as
Gotcha.
You're so sweet, David.
Oh, thanks,
you are
baby.
you are a
Thank
good
you so
musician,
much.
man.
But he doesn't use his pinky.
No, I don't.
And it used
I
to
refuse.
drive when we were younger. It used to drive me crazy.
It's
I'm
a
like, use your
horrible-
fucking pinky.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
like limiting your like capabilities.
I don't use my ring finger. I like
Really?
Yeah, when I even like something that I should just go right to the next one, I just with my pinky or sometimes like both fingers at once or something. I don't know.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know why.
Wow.
I
Yeah.
only
See, I
use
don't
my
feel so
pinky.
We're still talking about guitar, right?
So, in terms of the band, do you have someone who is sort of designated to doing your social media?
Yeah, that's me.
Yeah, that's Dave. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's a collaboration between all of us because we discuss stuff, but also like a big part of our online presence is actually Dave's art. Dave does all our
Dave's
artwork,
art is amazing.
Oh, nice.
which he's like super talented. He went to school for it.
Oh, sick.
But
Thank you.
I mostly run the social media account.
Oh, okay, good, cool. So, is it like, are you doing the whole thing where you've got like the meta, like sort of, yeah, and you're
Looking at
running
my
all
stats
yeah,
all the time, bro.
all that.
Checking out my stats.
I'm doing all that, but then we also have someone who we pay to do it because I'm really kind of a rank amateur at it. So let Danielle do it properly.
It's
But
harder than you think it is.
yeah.
She does a good job though, man. She's constantly posting for us.
Consistency. That's the hard part.
It's really key. You kind of have to post at least 2 or 3 times a week to like,
Yeah,
stay in
yeah.
people's feeds.
Yeah, we started off where I was running the Facebook and he was running the Instagram, and then we just realized this is so much easier if we just link this and like have you just do both at the same time.
Yeah.
We
totally.
need more video content because
Yeah.
obviously that's what the algorithm pushes to people.
Yep.
And pictures don't really get a lot of attention. So
No,
I've
you're
been
right.
trying to do that. I recently edited footage from this documentary called Samsara to one of our songs.
Oh, cool.
And so that's, I think, something I want to start doing more because it got a ton of views compared to everything else we've done.
Yeah, no, that's it, and you're right. And Danielle is constantly on at us, like for like, give me some video content, because she's right. It's the thing to yeah. In fact, I've got to get.
I think if you think about it as like a user too, when I'm scrolling through stuff, I'm probably more likely going to click on a video than I am a still image.
Yeah.
So I think you kind of have to think about it from the user's perspective as well.
Yeah.
But Danielle comes out. I mean, she's actually really good at doing this stuff for us because she comes out to a good handful of shows every month for us, and she'll live stream from the show. She will just take videos and things, and she'll use those for stories, and she'll use those for reels and things like that. And then she'll take a boatload of photos, and then almost every day there's like either a picture of me or a picture of Ben, a picture of James, a picture of the band, a picture of something, you know, and it's always like pushing the shows, and it's always, I mean, she's really good about that.
Yeah,
And it's
bless
always,
her heart.
and it's like, I can't say that I've ever seen the same photo twice. Like she's always posting a new something.
Well, because we do those gigs where we're actually getting paid for it, it makes sense for us to pay someone to do that.
It's crazy.
It makes sense for us to have someone, and pay them. I think,
Wait, we get paid?
you don't get paid. Just
it.
me and Danielle. That's it.
Damn it.
No, but you know what I mean. Like, because we kind of, sold out a little bit and do like the pub circuit and stuff. Like, it makes sense for us to pay someone to do it, and it's been great. Because it's kind of hands off. I dabble around in it, and I'll run ads and things like that. But the day to day on the ground stuff.
We dabble it just enough to annoy her.
Yeah, exactly.
Why'd you do that?
Yeah.
You're throwing off my campaign.
The algorithm's all wonky now.
That's another thing too. Dave tends to put up some pretty good social media.
He's got the humor down.
You got the humor down for Blabscam. Yeah.
Oh, wicked.
I actually worked at a advertising agency in New York too. So I started out in like the office management side, and I was starting to do creative stuff before the pandemic.
Yeah.
So I learned a lot from watching those people and talking to them and how they do stuff. And actually, after I was in a band with Dave's brother, I stopped playing almost for like 2 years because I didn't know any musicians up there. And then so every once in a while, the agency would put out like a call for like creative material. And one day, one of the guys sent out something. He was like, "Hey, we need lyrics for songs we're pitching to Sonic, the fast food place.
Yeah.
And if anyone wants to write lyrics about like a Sonic food item, like please write something and send it to us." And I had a friend who worked in the creative department, and she was like, "Hey, don't just send them lyrics. You should record something." Because she knew I was like kind of like fiddling with recording on my own time. She was like, "You should record something and send it to them." And I basically did like a Beach Boys parody about like the Slushies.
Oh, sick.
And the guy was like, "Dude, this is amazing. Can you do some more?"
What?
And it was like, I think for the first time I got outside validation in a long time. And it kind of like reignited my passion for it.
Nice.
Too. And I ended up writing like 8 songs about chili dogs.
I know there's one about chicken nuggets you showed me.
Yeah, that
That's
was
so
the
fun.
best one. And it also taught me a lot about songwriting, because when you have a 30-second song, you don't
Tell
have...
me about it. I've been doing it lately, the sync stuff. Yeah.
I think it's a really good exercise that songwriters should do. Because you don't have time to fuck around. You got to get in like a verse and a chorus, and that's really all you have time to. And it taught me a lot. And also, when we were talking about like writing fun music, and I was like, why are these stupid songs about chicken nuggets like the best stuff I've ever done?
Yeah. No, exactly. We've been doing it through some like this like sync sort of agency. They're taking a healthy cut. They're taking this giant cut to it's all for like things like like Mini Cooper ads and things like that.
Oh, cool.
You bid for it, but now we're in like we've managed to kind of go up their sort of list of people, so they'll reach out to us for better stuff now. Like we've only been used for like couple of things so far, but we're always hustling, trying to get on it, and we're getting better and better all the time.
Do they give you a prompt, or you just kind of submit music?
Yeah. They give you like a brief. You get this brief comes in, and sometimes it comes with a video and stuff. And I don't know. I've been trying to get better at it. It's not easy, and actually we've been doing it as a trio. So it's like me and my mate do the music and mix it up to a point, and then we give it to our other mate who like polishes it, because he's like super good at mastering and stuff. So, and really the reason I started doing it was because I just wanted an excuse to make music with my mate.
Yeah.
Because I really, really, like I don't get to see him very often. He lives in England, and I was like, how can we have like a line of communication? I was like, you know what? Let's just do this together, and now it's like turned into a thing, which is cool.
Yeah. That's really cool.
Anyway, enough about that. Let's get back to you guys. Why don't we listen to
Finally.
some of your... I tell you what. I do have a tendency to talk about myself.
But seriously, this is about us, Ben. So.
Before we do that, Ben,
We got to focus up here.
Before we do that, let me ask. You guys were saying you practice twice a week. Like, how often do you play? Play out like actual gigs?
It depends. Like last month, we played a ton because we were playing with the Shake and Dominic and Billy Doom on their tour. We weren't on tour with them, but I would say we probably play like once or twice a month.
Okay.
And we're kind of getting to know the venues around because obviously there's a limited amount of places that want to have like heavy punk music.
Yeah, I wish there were more.
Yeah, me too.
Limited amount of places that want original music. Even.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah,
and it's kind of hard. I mean, and we just started playing. We played a show at Tough Times, which is a really cool place.
Yeah, that place is solid.
I've been there a few times.
We're going to be playing there on May 13th too. So next Saturday, if you're in the area, come check us out.
There you go.
But I mean, Propaganda. We played. They gave us our first show there.
Yeah.
Have you ever played at Swampgrass Willie's?
We actually are going to play there June 10th. It's going to be our first show there.
I have when we were in Sheepdog, but I mean, we haven't since with Blabscam, but that place is really cool. I like that
Who
place.
books at Swampgrass Willie's now? Is it still Dana?
I have no idea. We got our first show there. It's going to be June 10th. Ricky got us the show because we're playing with the Shake.
Right.
I think Dave actually books it now.
Dave, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ricky kind of gets us most of our shows. Ricky
once again,
unofficial,
doing the most.
official booker.
We don't pay him.
He's
anything.
awesome.
He's a good lad.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, okay, because I reached out to the wrong person then because I'm trying to get so there's this guy Brayton Russell who's a musician who I know, and I'm helping him do stuff, and I'm going to get him in there too. He's got like a kind of a punk band. So if you ever need someone a support for your band, I've got a band for you. They're decent too. Yeah.
Nice, yeah.
I really want to get into some of those venues down in Miami too. I don't know anyone down there, but it seems like they have like a pretty decent punk scene down there.
I think it's starting to get like it ebbs and flows, but it seems right now it seems pretty good.
Yeah, and
which is surprising because Churchill's shut
Churchill's.
I know,
Churchill's
it's
was
weird,
like,
right?
I love Churchill's.
Yeah.
there's a place called The Void, which I started following, and that seems like an awesome place. Looks like they got really cool shows there, and I messaged them, and they're like, "Sorry, no availability, no room in the inn."
Oh man,
There's a few places down there, and honestly, the names escape me right now, but I'll come up with them. I'll shoot them over to you. There's a few of them. My son plays drums in Young Fiction.
Oh yeah,
Gavin. And he.
Did we play with them?
I think
I don't know. Do we?
Did you play with him at Tough Times?
Maybe.
They play at
Black Market.
That might be one of them. But he was just telling me they just booked a show down in Miami, and it's like, what's the station down there? The Shark or something. There's some.
Yeah, Shark's like the new Buzz. Kinda.
Yeah, so there's a studio or something down there where it used to be. It used to be like, if they had a guest that they would interview and they would do like a little show or something. But apparently they like built it out and turned it into like a full on rock club or something.
Wow, that's awesome.
And it's like it's owned by the Shark and it's run by the Shark, but it's like full on shows now. So they just got booked to do a show down there with some other bands and stuff.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'll get the names of these and shoot them over to you because there's some really cool.
Yeah.
There's some.
While you're at it, shoot them over to me. I've got to get gigs for Brayton.
You get nothing, sir.
Sweet FAs. All right, come on. Let's listen to some of your tunes. Does that sound good?
Sounds good.
Sounds great.
All right.
This next song is about having worms in your brain.
Yeah, it's called Brainworms.
I got 'em, all my brainworms. got a brainworm disease. I got a brainworm disease. Got a brainworm disease. I got a disease. I got a brainworm disease. I got disease. I got a. Thank you.
561 Music is sponsored by Jupiter Inlet Boat Rentals. Jupiter Inlet Boat Rentals and Boat Club is Palm Beach County's premier boat rental company and boat rental club. They have been in continuous operation since the year 2000 on the beautiful waters of Jupiter Inlet. It is the affordable alternative to boat ownership. Their membership club ranks number 1 in both quality, availability and customer satisfaction. You'll choose from their fleet of boats consisting of deck boats, dual consoles and center consoles. Rent offshore fishing boats, deluxe cruising boats and plush deck boats, all powered by 4-stroke outboard engines. Their vessels are fully equipped for your safety and comfort with styles suitable for ocean and intracoastal use. They are located just 2 minutes away from the mouth of Jupiter Inlet, which means fast access and the most beautiful stretch of the intracoastal. In fact, no other boat company can match their ideal location. Fishermen will be thrilled to note that sports fishing starts just a quarter mile offshore and the warm Gulf Stream is a mere 3 miles from the shore. The address is 1095 North A1A, Jupiter, Florida 33477, and you can find it at jupiterinletboatrentals.com. The telephone is 561-741-1212. In their efforts to make boating affordable, they offer rental discount membership programs that do not require a large investment up front. You pay a little to join and pay as you go. Other boat rental clubs take all your money up front, charge a monthly maintenance fee, and hope you never show up. At Jupiter Inlet Boat Club, plans start at $700 to join, and each time you take out a boat, daily fees start at just $249 plus fuel. There are no monthly fees. If you have heard of the boat club from 561 Music, please let them know when you call or go there to book a boat, and the friendly staff will take that into account and take care of you. We are also sponsored by Oasis Root. Now, Oasis Root Kava Bar is in Sea Grape Square on Indiantown Rd, and it is a kava bar. If you don't know anything about kava, it's a Polynesian root that you grind up and you mix with water, and it has been in Polynesia for potentially thousands of years. It's an old thing that they used for kind of ceremonial and also sort of leisure purposes. It's meant to be something where, you know, that brings people together. You all take a shell of kava and chink them together and say bula and have it together like that. It's meant to be something to bring people together. It's has a kind of an effect which is, I guess, a kind of a slightly warming effect. It just kind of makes you feel nice. It's not particularly intoxicating. It's not like drinking alcohol. So the atmosphere in a kava bar is sort of like a cross between a regular bar and a coffee house. It's pretty chill in there. You get all sorts of different types of kava bars. Some of them are more like a club, you know, there's sort of like blacklight and EDM playing. And some of them are more like a cafe. This is one of the cafe type of ones. It's super chill in there. If you're looking for somewhere to, I don't know, maybe go and do some work on your laptop or go and have a chat with friends, it's perfect for that kind of thing. There's a foosball table in there if that's your jam, or baby-foot as they call it in France. And yeah, Jim, the owner, is a really cool guy, and he has very kindly sponsored our podcast. So thank you very, very much for that, Jim. They also do a poker night in there, all sorts of things going on at Oasis Root Kava Bar. 561 Music is sponsored by Live Music Community. It's where we film the podcast that you're listening to right now, and it's also where I work. Gavin, Hector's son, was a student here for a long time, and in many ways he's the musician he is today because of the teachers at Live Music Community. We taught him not only about his instrument, but also about being in a band, and his band, Unemployed Youth, accomplished a lot of goals, mostly band etiquette, how to work together, and all of the nitty-gritty that goes into being in a band on a day-to-day basis. The student signs up for lessons, learns their instrument, joins a real band, and decides the direction it goes in. And we can take people from very young age, 6 or 7 years old, all the way up to 80. There's no age limit here. We run an adult program for people who want to be in a band as adults, but really the main focus is on the kids and getting them playing together and in bands. We are also a studio, a live stream venue, and we can record audio or video. The Killbillies live album, Warts and All, was recorded here. It was recorded during a live stream that we did during COVID. Justin had a great idea to record live streams during COVID. A ton of bands came in, and it was a real success. But outside of that, we can record albums, we can help you with your EPK, and we have full audio-visual capabilities here. LMC is in Palm Beach Gardens on the northwest corner of Military Trail and North Lake Boulevard. It's north of the gas station, right before you get to North Lake on Military Trail. And if you go to livemusiccommunity.com, you have all the information you'll need right there. All right, guys. So seeing as we were just listening to an ad for Live Music Community, which is where we're sat right now, do you have any advice for upcoming musicians?
Yeah, I would say play every day. I think there's this big idea about like musical talent that like you're born with it. And I think that is true for someone, but I think it's like working out. Like you just have to do it a ton to develop those skills.
Yeah.
And if you don't, you're just going to be a mediocre player.
Yeah.
Like I said before, I'm like kind of a monk to it. And
why are you looking at me when you say mediocre? I feel attacked.
I think that might be you there. Projection is the word I was looking for.
I would also say, like, don't wait for people to give you permission to do things because you're never going to get that. And I think you have to show people you can do something before they're going to be willing to let you do it. So, like, record that shitty EP on GarageBand and release it, because the next thing you're going to do is even better than that.
Yeah.
So you just got to start doing it, and don't wait for permission. Just do it.
Yeah, you got to run through material before you finally get to something good, and like cast a wide net. Like through genres, through whatever, like push yourself like musically, but also like through your talents, through just raw practice.
Yeah.
That includes like your horizon, like your musical horizon.
Totally. And casting a wide net's more fun anyway,
Yeah.
Just
do it.
I think too, learning instruments that's not your main instrument is just going to give you a better understanding of music and how to communicate that with other people. Because it's great that like Dave can play drums, and if we're trying to come up with a drum part, he can kind of like speak on James's level.
Yeah, I don't have to just sound it out to him with my mouth like boop boop bap boop bap.
Like I have to do to you. Yeah, I'm like, hey, boom boom boom.
I mean, there is musician talk like every band has,
Yeah.
but like that helps. Like you get a three-dimensional like view of like song structure, how things fit together, different instruments. Like that definitely helps.
Yeah. Did any of you guys do any school for music?
Yeah, I took lessons. The first time I did lessons was like very formal, where he was like teaching me how to read music and stuff, and like I kind of hated it, and he really hated me, my teacher,
Right.
because he would like ask me to play these like classical pieces, and there was one time he just got so frustrated with me. He's like, do you practice? I'm like, yeah, I play at home. And he's like, well, what do you play at home? And so I started playing a Nirvana song, and he was like, that sounds excellent. All right, well, fuck this. We're just going to do that kind of stuff from now on.
Oh, cool.
And it opened up. And then, I taught a lot myself. Then in high school, I started taking lessons with this guy named Charles Milling, who's an amazing guy. And he taught me so much. I think he still teaches in Delray. He used to work for St. Joseph's Episcopal Church. I don't know if he still does. He was their music director, but such an amazing, nice guy, and he taught me so much.
Nice. Oh, nice, man. What about this song that we just listened to? Could you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, so that was Brainworms, which, like as we said before, Dave wrote the main riff, that really catchy
Which
riff.
is itself a brainworm.
Yeah,
it is.
That we like that
Intentional
the
that
song
way.
works on that level.
Yeah.
And Dave wrote it, and he's like, we should call it Brainworms. And then we kind of wrote the rest of the song around that riff all together. I feel like it's the song that's been connecting most with other
Oh
people.
yeah, people
Yeah.
seem to like it. That's the one where we hear the most, like people shouting Blabscam and just like really getting into it.
Yeah, I
like just,
see.
it's just like a kind of manic, like repetitive song, but it's got a lot of fun energy to it.
Yeah, that was actually, that recording was from our show at Fat Cats. And if you check out the EP, you know, Fat Cats is kind of like that venue where it's like maybe half the people are there to see the band and then the other people are there just drinking.
Yeah.
Did you do that one? Was that a Ricky one?
That was
Ricky,
along with
yeah.
the scene.
Yeah, I
Ricky
thought so,
recorded
yeah,
it
yeah.
and Rocky mixed and mastered it. And actually the first track on there is when we were on stage, someone was booing. And I'm not even sure, you know, at the time I was on
Yeah.
stage, I wasn't paying attention and I was like, who's booing us? And so you can listen to it. It's the first track on the live EP. So I just said, hey, who's booing?
You can hear somebody.
So
pretty
Like,
punk
you're
rock.
Yeah.
answering
It could have been the
somebody.
TV. It could have been us. I don't know what they're.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be hilarious if he was just angry at like a football game.
Yeah.
like,
Might have
booing
been
the
that.
television.
So the live EP kicks off with me telling the booing audience members to suck my dick.
Yes, as it should.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Good way to start an EP.
Yeah.
We actually
Yeah.
played Brainworms twice that show.
We
didn't-
did because we didn't
we
have an
didn't
extra
have-
song. That's right. People
We
yelled
had
at us
too
for an
few
encore,
songs.
and then we ended up playing Brainworms again because we didn't have another song
Yeah.
to play.
I've been
Yeah.
there, man. Been
Yeah.
there.
Well, we've written like 3 songs since then. So now we have
Okay.
a full set for any venues out there listening.
Yeah.
We can play at least
That's true.
45
We're ready
minutes
and
if
willing and
we
able.
need it. Yeah.
So, the next question is kind of a fun one. What's the weirdest thing that's ever happened to you at a gig? The funniest or weirdest?
Well, one time we were playing at Propaganda,
Oh yeah.
and
Yeah, Good one.
there's this drunk girl around who we didn't know, and we kind of like when we were you know, setting up and doing sound check, she comes up to us and she's drunk. She goes up to Dave. She's like, "Look at that sexy guy on the 4-string." And then she like comes to me. She's like, "What's your name? Can you dedicate a song to me?" And I'm just like, "Dude, I don't know you. No,
Yeah.
no, my wife's here."
Yeah. The show hasn't started
know
and
you.
she's already just gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I think a couple songs in, she got into an altercation with someone else there and threatened to shoot up the place.
Oh, damn.
Oh yeah.
Holy crap.
She caused the
See,
scene.
you can't say that these days.
No, you
Yeah.
can't because it's reality.
Yeah, exactly.
The country we live in. But, you know, we kind of just like we're playing in the middle of a song. So
Yeah,
we
to
know
us-
that something's going on. There's people
Yeah.
fighting.
Yeah.
And then we didn't get the full story till later, but it was.
Yeah.
I liked it. I'm like, hell yeah! I wish more people fought at our shows.
Nice crazy energy for our
Yeah.
band.
Yeah.
Energy
I
going.
I feed off the chaos. You know?
No, I hear that. You play at O'Shea's or Average Joe's enough times, you get pretty used to that.
The drunk girl asking you for like a certain song.
Oh my
you know?
god.
Zombie.
Yeah.
We had we were playing at O'Shea's and we had this girl. Actually both we played O'Shea's. I don't know why we played O'Shea's back to back. We played it like 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah.
And like both weeks she was there, and both weeks she would just stand in front of us drunk as hell.
Oh,
and
man.
all she would say is "Zombie, play Zombie." We don't play that. Play Zombie. We just don't play that song. But play Zombie. It was like, oh,
Yeah,
Jesus
it was
Christ.
brutal. And the first time, I managed to get her off stage. I'm usually pretty mild mannered, but I managed to kind of turn it on a little bit. And
She jumped on
told
stage.
her where to
She
go.
jumped
Oh
on
yeah,
She was
she
a
jumped on- she was
nightmare.
right behind me trying to get on the mic and everything.
Yeah. And then the second time, James had to do the kind of tough guy bit, and he shut it down. He really shut
And
it
we've
down.
never seen her since.
Yeah, totally.
Well, that's beyond even like heckling a band.
Yeah.
Like, you don't
Yeah.
get on
You're getting
stage.
involved at
That's
that
a whole
point.
nother
We had,
level, yeah.
like you were talking about, the girls coming up and talking. Oh, you're sexy. We were playing, what was it, St. Patrick's Day?
Yeah.
This girl walks up to, it's a pretty high stage, and she walks up to the front of the stage. She's right in front of me, and she's like, "I love you." And I was like thinking, like, I don't know. I'm just like, oh, the band, I mean, people always tell us like,
Yeah,
oh, we
yeah.
love you guys. You're
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
And I was like, oh, thanks. And she's like, no, you. I was like, well then. And my wife was literally sitting on the stage at the corner of the stage. I was like, oh man, call me.
I don't know what it is about them bass players. I guess you guys just exude
It is, man.
sexuality.
It
and,
is.
uh,
It is, man.
Can't turn it off.
Some
Yeah,
deep,
man.
heavy tones.
Bring it
Does
back.
something.
That comes from somewhere.
Bring
doesn't
it
it?
It's that bottom end, man.
The good vibrations.
You know what they say. I don't know what they say. So, the other thing was when it comes to like sort of booze and getting messed up at gigs. Do you have any kind of, how do you navigate that? Do you have any kind of like approach to that?
Not really. I like to engage with people if they're going to do that. Like if you feel like you should be talking out loud and everyone should hear you, I'll give you the attention.
Yeah.
Because usually once you give them that, like, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
And
Kind of
what-
look like an asshole.
And what about you guys? Have you do you like drink a lot when you play?
I like to have, like, I think for me 2 beers is like the perfect part because I
That is
haven't.
famously the
Yeah. I actually have only been. I never sang in public until the band. So the first shows were extremely nerve-wracking to
Sure.
me because singing is so vulnerable. It's like
Oh, yeah.
yourself. Yeah, I'm sure you understand that. It's like if you don't feel good, your instrument is fucked up. It's like if I could be sick and play guitar, fine.
Yeah.
But when you're sick, it's hard to sing. So I would like to get away from the 2 beers and not have that as a crutch to feel like I can unwind and loosen a little bit. But
Yeah.
I like to have like a beer on stage too. And it's funny too, if you drink a beer or 2 on stage, people think that you're drunk.
Right,
And it like
yeah.
adds to the degenerate mystique of the band. you know?
Yeah, and that is kind of a part of it. And I remember when I stopped drinking, you know, it really throws people for a loop when they're like, "Yes, get shots for the band." You're like, "No, I'm good," and they're like, "Whoa."
When we played at Tough Times, I think I maybe had 3 beers the whole night, and but I drank 2 of them on stage. And one of the guys there was like, "Hey, are you okay to drive home?"
right.
Yeah, dude, I'm totally fine.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, when I first started playing out, same thing. I'd have one while I was setting up, and then I'd grab another to play, during the set or whatever. And it was 100% like a nerves thing. I didn't want to, like, I wanted to do it, but I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to be in front of people. Fast forward to you playing with Killbillies, and when I started playing with Killbillies, Ben was recently sober at that point, and so James and I made our own decision, not by any pressure or anything. We made our own decision that we're going to be supportive, and so when we're out at gigs, we don't drink, so that we're not sitting there sloshing them back in front of Ben.
Yeah.
Band solidarity. Nice.
Yeah, and so we
guys.
we started doing. I mean, I go home and I get fucked up. No. we started doing that, and it was really, really nerve wracking. Like the first 2 shows to not have a beer and just play. I was like, oh, what if I fuck up, and what if this, and what if that? But I got to tell you, like, that wore off pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm
especially as often as we play.
Yeah.
It wore off pretty quickly. It wasn't long before it was just like, whatever, just play.
Yeah, you can get used to pretty much anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel like I've been going through that a little bit myself because I used to drink before shows for the same reason, just to like a little bit, like just to have a beer or 2 or something, just to calm the nerves.
Liquid courage, baby.
Yeah, but now I've been finding that like when I drink before a show, even just a beer or 2, I start to get more tired because I'm on the drums, so it's like so much energy that I'm using that I feel like the beer works against me now. So now I'm like, no, I'll just have water or something. Then after I'm done, then I can drink.
there you go.
Hammered.
Reward for a job. Well
Exactly.
done,
Yeah,
but-
it's like my reward. Yeah.
He's been a good boy.
So what do you guys got coming up? Is there anything everyone should know about?
Yeah, we got the show at Tough Times on May 13th. Man, I don't remember the name.
Is that
of the
a
other
Friday?
bands. That's a Saturday. Like I said, if you haven't been at Tough Times is an awesome place.
It's a great little spot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is cool.
You should
They
definitely
have
come
this
hang out
tiny
with
little
us.
stage in the corner, and it's like a long with the bar on
The
the one side.
jukebox
but-
takes up half the
Like,
stage.
I don't know if you guys have
It's
ever.
right behind
Yeah,
his head.
it's not huge, but it's a fun spot.
Yeah, no, it's a fun stage. It's kind of small, but it actually reminds me of. I don't know if you guys ever went to the Fest in Gainesville. It reminds me of like a Fest bar.
Yeah, totally.
Like,
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It just has that feel to it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean.
We
It's
have-
a cool place.
We have that coming up. We have June 10th. We're going to be at Swampgrass Willie's. We are playing. There's going to be a punk rock flea market
Yeah.
festival
It's
at
July.
Matthews in July, and I don't remember the date of it. I don't think I've gotten the date yet, but definitely follow us and we'll post about it. Do we have something else too? We have something like in September too.
That wasn't the Swampgrass Willie show, was it? No.
No, that's
No,
June. Man, we should be.
That's
better.
your
We should
European-
be
Yeah, we
better
should
at
be
this.
more on top of
European
this,
tour,
shouldn't we?
maybe.
Yeah,
It's a little ways out.
Yeah.
Don't worry about
Yeah.
that. So, do you have any gear you'd like to talk about?
I can go on at length about my guitar. And I often do to the chagrin of others.
Let's hear about it.
Well, so this is my Heritage 535.
I got one of those.
Do you?
Yeah,
Dude.
love it.
They're so sick.
Yeah, yeah.
So basically, I don't know if you know the story of Heritage, but Gibson used to have a factory. I think it was in Memphis or something, and then they moved it, I think, to Nashville.
Kalamazoo.
Kalamazoo, that's what it is. So back in the day, they were going to move their factory, and basically the employees that didn't want to leave bought the factory and all the machinery that was still in there, and they basically went on making like copyright-friendly versions of Gibson guitars. So it's like Gibson-esque guitars made on the original stuff, and they do like that's like a replica of like a 1959 335.
Yeah,
I like how they just changed the numbers. They call it a 535.
Totally. I love mine, man. I used to take it out for gigs, but it started getting beaten up, so now it just lives in my house, and I just use it for recording and stuff. But cool guitar. Good choice, my man.
I went to me and my wife went to Chicago, and I went to Chicago Music Exchange.
Okay.
And it was the coolest guitar I've ever been, or guitar shop I've ever been.
Yeah, I believe it.
I saw that on the wall, and I was like, "Oh, damn, that guitar is so fucking sexy."
Such a pretty color too. I got the sunburst sort of one.
Blue, baby.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And like I saw it, I plugged it in, and I just hit a chord, and it sounded so fucking massive and good. And I was like, I looked at the price tag, and I was like, "Oh, no way!" And then I put it back, and me and my wife were like walking down the street, and I like wouldn't stop talking about the guitar. She was like, "Well, why don't we just buy it?"
Yeah.
And I was like, no, that's so stupid. We shouldn't buy that. We walked around the block like 3 times until I was like, okay, let's go get it.
That's awesome.
That's usually how it works.
Thank you, Courtney.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They sound great.
I did a tour of that of the Memphis factory.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, years ago. And I guess at the time, I don't know if it's still there or not, there was a small Fender factory somewhere around there as well. And so we were going around. They were showing us, they have this station and that station. They mold this and they bend that and whatever. And then there was 2 like stations or whatever at the end, and those 2 guys, like their sole job was to take finished guitars and spend like 8 hours playing them and decide if they were Gibson worthy or if they had to go back to have something retooled or whatever. Like that was their job. They just played guitar all day. That was their job.
That's so
Do you think they're
cool.
hiring for that?
I don't know.
I know, really.
But I was joking around with the guys, and I'm like, so what happens if it fails the inspection and it's not Gibson worthy? They're like, we slap the Fender name on it, send it across the street. Thought that was pretty funny.
That's hilarious.
I love reading about the history too of like the war between Fender and Gibson. It's so interesting how they like kind of shaped each other. And, yeah, it's cool.
Totally. No, that guitar, I play mine like I use it for if I got to record like anything sort of funk or R&B or jazz related, I'll get on that. And even with rock, it's got such a big full sound. Yeah. I don't play it. Right now I'm in this weird like metal mode, and I'm just on my Jacksons and my Schecters right now.
Mm-hmm.
But like I do love it though. I'll get it out at least once a week.
We have no clean tones in Blabscam. It's all like extremely fuzzy and distorted. So it's like it is a little difficult to manage with that one.
Yeah.
And I think the pickups are unpotted, so they're a little bit even more like feedbacky.
Yeah.
Like I kind of have to use my toggle switch as a kill switch. So when I'm not playing, I flip it up and then I'll flip it back down because it just howls like crazy.
Yeah.
But I also kind of like that because then it feels like I'm just like on the edge of control with it. And I feel like that's what Blabscam's about too.
Right.
Yeah, totally. It suits the whole thing. That's awesome. There we go. We're guitar buddies.
Yeah, hell yeah. Heritage all the way. Heritage sponsor this podcast.
I got
the
mine
band,
from
please.
Wolf
And
in
the band.
Jupiter.
No, I've never been there.
Wolf Guitars is legit, man. They got some nice. Actually, Jay Wolf is a real character, and he came on the podcast and talked about his history and music. He's done a whole load of stuff.
He has, man.
If you're interested in that kind of thing and history and stuff,
totally,
you should check out the Jay Wolf episode of this podcast.
Cool, yeah.
Really, really good.
Yeah, I will. Yeah, I'll have to go check it. I actually live here in North Palm, so it's not that far.
Oh, yeah, cool. Yeah, because then you can watch it, and then you'll go to the store, and it'll be like he's famous. It'll be weird.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, what have we got this weekend then? Let's have a look. I'm going to check.
Meg O'Malley's on Friday,
Meg
which
O'Malley's.
is always a good time.
Yeah, it is. They do these, I always talk about them on here, but they are delicious. They do these soft-boiled Scotch eggs. They didn't have them last time.
They didn't have them last time. Now, I think his exact words were, I think he just said we don't have them, and I couldn't tell if he was trying to tell me but he said we don't have any more, and I don't know if he said we don't have any more as in like that night they were out of them, or we don't have them anymore as in ever again. In which case, I'm just going to burn them to the ground and never go there.
Yeah, totally.
But
What is a Scotch egg?
Oh, it's delicious.
So it's an egg wrapped in sausage meat, and then the sausage meat is breaded, and then the whole
Deep
thing is
fried.
fried.
That's incredible.
That
And it's a soft-boiled egg inside.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
It's
And
really
getting
good.
the egg to be soft boiled is very difficult. I don't know how they do it because most times you get a Scotch egg, it's hard boiled because they cook it.
They're frying it.
Yeah, exactly. But they somehow manage to time it exactly, so you cut into it and order the runs out. Oh my god,
It's so good. Well, we're playing Mega O'Malley's on Friday, which is Cinco de Mayo. So we're going to learn a whole bunch of Spanish songs and then throw them off their game. So
it's gonna be good fun. And then Carson's Tavern.
Yeah, Carson's. I love playing Carson's, man. It's
Yeah.
such a small, tiny little place. You play we shove tables out of the way and we play in the corner, but it's such a fun vibe there.
I don't know why it is. I mean, I do because Carson's really, really cool, but it doesn't seem like it would be a good gig, but it always is.
It's not a huge place. I mean, they have a whole big outdoor patio area and stuff like that, but inside the bar, it's not that big.
Yeah.
But it's always packed, and people are always just so receptive and so fun and so just appreciative of the music and
That's awesome.
dancing and yelling and
Yeah.
I mean buying merch and throwing tips it's just a fun place. It's
Yeah, it's
really
a
a
good
good
time.
place.
Sounds awesome.
Dude, whenever people dance at a show, it's the best.
Yeah.
For sure.
man, for sure.
Yeah, the energy's flying back and forth. You can really feel it. Makes
Yeah.
it makes
Yeah.
you feel like you're doing something
We had a
worthwhile.
show
Yeah, I
down
definitely
at-
feel like you play a little extra more when when you get that energy from the crowd.
We had a
Just
show
gives you
down
that,
in Boynton,
jolt.
Boynton
sure.
Beach a few weeks back, and just a whole group of ladies got up and started line dancing. Hell yeah, man!
Yeah, it was either line dancing or the electric slide. I'm not sure which one they were doing, but it was
They're
wild.
similar.
It was the
dances.
Cuban slide because they knew I was Cuban.
Oh, there you go. And then on Sunday, I'm playing at a place called Cork in Hope Sound from 11:30 to 3:30. So if you want to hear me looping stuff and doing a Ricky Balouf impression, you can come and check that out from 11:30 to 3:30. It's in Hope Sound. And
I
it's a
might
little
pop
wine
in
bar.
and play 2 songs. Just
Dude,
to,
you are welcome.
just to say that I did it.
So there's been this open invitation that Hector's had
I'm
going on for like months and
I'm
months.
dying to start doing solo stuff, but I'm a terrible guitarist and I'm a mediocre singer. So I feel like this is just a train wreck waiting to happen. So he keeps telling me just come out and play plus I'm nervous as hell to do it by myself. So he's just like come out and play 2 songs or so I don't know. I may actually
Yeah,
do
you
this.
should, man. Let's
I'm
do
gonna
it. Let's
Rip
do
the
it.
Band-Aid off.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
You got it. Do it.
I may do that.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for coming down.
Oh, yeah,
Oh, thank you
thanks
for having us.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
and
you guys.
everyone, please check us out on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube. All our stuff is up there. We got
OnlyFans.
OnlyFans.
Facebook
Dave
Marketplace.
has some racy pictures on there.
I really do.
But all our music is up. Follow us on Instagram just for news. We're probably gonna have an album coming out this summer that we're doing with the Long
Yep.
Live the Scene Boys.
Nice.
We're gonna be we're gonna have some T-shirts ready that
Yeah,
Dave
Yep,
t-shirts
merch
designed.
coming
out
soon.
Dave designed.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's
OG
gonna be
artwork.
awesome. And that's Blabscam, Blabscam.
Blabscam.
So find us on there.
Blabscam.
Nice one. All right.
Yeah.
See you later.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Take you by the scene.